Hello there, everyone. If you're watching this video, then you are part of the TTOR Army, an army that is building itself up one subscriber at a time. I'm back from fireworks, as you can see. Gone for a month, did what I needed to do with fireworks, and it was brutal, mostly because of the weather. We had a 5-day stretch where it was over 100 degrees each day, and that was rough, to say the least. But I'm back now, and I figured the most appropriate way to get back on the saddle of content creation would be to respond to various tweets made by atheist users on Twitter during fireworks season. Now, I looked at each one of these tweets by itself and came to the conclusion that each one by itself was not enough to make its own video. But then I got the bright idea of saying, you know what? Maybe if I combine all of these tweets into one video and respond to each one, I got a video here, and that's why we're here. So without any further ado, let's go ahead and get into the first tweet in question. This one, which you can see here on screen, written by a user who calls themselves Satan, but their user is S8N. They posted a meme of Tom and Jerry, and it says, "People, Hitler and Stalin killed the most people in history. Noah not letting anyone on the ark." So everyone, of course, who's an atheist shares this meme abroad. Just, oh, it's the greatest thing ever. You really showed those Christians and creationists. So I had to point out the obvious. I made a response tweet that says, "Except that Noah didn't prevent people from coming on the ark. Another atheist lie in order to suppress the truth about reality." Now, when you read Genesis 6, which is where they're appealing to, you don't see any kind of account where it says that Noah let people on the ark or gave them any kind of warning that the flood was coming and that they should get on the ark. But you also won't find passages in there that says that Noah wouldn't let anyone else on the ark. You read the New Testament, of course, and you find out that Noah was a preacher of righteousness, and that it turns out that everybody who was in the world at the time had a chance to get on the ark. It's just that only Noah and his family were the ones willing to get on the ark. Now, this one I came across on July 6th was actually pretty funny. The Phoenix Atheist said, "The Gospels are written with Isaiah on the table next to them. The narrative was written to match the Isaiah text. Hardly impressive." So I said in response, "Bold assertion, where is the evidence for it?" Phoenix Atheist actually quote tweeted my tweet and said in response, "Luke inventing the census to get J-Boy from Nazareth to Bethlehem." Now this is pretty bad because what he's saying is that the purpose of the census that Luke wrote in Luke chapter 3 was to get Jesus from Nazareth to Bethlehem. Except that's not what the census does. You actually go read that census that Luke has in Luke chapter 3, and what it does is it traces Jesus all the way back to Adam through the line of David. It doesn't even try to get Jesus from Nazareth to Bethlehem. This is as basic as it gets in regards to Bible knowledge about the Gospel of Luke, and Phoenix Atheist can't even get this one right. Then, of course, there are the atheists who don't understand how social media algorithms work. Mr. Sean McClure, in particular, said, "My feed is filled with MAGA, Christo-fascists, Nazis, Christian nationalists, Putin sympathizers, election deniers, anti-vaxxers, wannabe autocrats, conspiracy theorists, and delusional billionaires, yet I follow and interact with none of those. The F is up with this platform." So I pointed out in a response tweet, "We are the people you like to attack in your posts. Naturally, Twitter's algorithms figured you'd want new reasons to attack us, and it gives you what you want." Now, this tweet by Lilith Atheist I thought was actually pretty funny because this is a classical case of psychological projection. So you can see the meme on the screen. It has in one column, "Old atheists," and it's someone telling the other person, "Stay quiet," and they're holding a Bible in their hand. Then you got the other column that says, "New atheists," and it's the same thing, person with Bible in hand pointing at the other saying, "Stay quiet," but the other person this time says, "No." Now, I find this to be incredibly hilarious because it's actually the other way around when you observe how atheists behave on the internet and you observe how Christians and creationists behave on the internet as well. You see frequently atheists and evolutionists spewing the atheistic evolutionary deep time propaganda, just like it's fact. They don't even try and prove its truthfulness. And then when creationists like myself come along and we dissent from that, saying, no, we don't believe this is true. As a matter of fact, here's some evidence that proves that it can't be true. Here's some evidence that proves that an alternative explanation of origins, young earth creationism, is true. And what do they say in response, basically? Well, they basically tell us that we're stupid and we're ignorant and that we don't know anything about anything and that we should go back to school and learn about evolution from some university somewhere. At one point, they were telling us to do our own research, but then in recent years, they started telling us not to do our own research because we're just too stupid to do our own research. The bottom line message is, stay quiet, creationists. Stay quiet, Christians. Don't you dare dissent from Darwinian evolution. Don't you dare dissent from billions of years and evolution. That's basically all just one big form of stay quiet to the Christians and the creationists. So the reality is it's actually the other way around. It's atheists that are trying to silence people who dissent from their worldview, and it's people like me, Christians and creationists, who are standing up and saying no. And simply dissenting from these guys, if you've been watching my channel for years, simply dissenting from these guys is enough to send them into a foaming frenzy. You don't even have to present hard evidence to get them to that state. You just have to disagree. And speaking of that thread, we have another atheist user on the internet named Jackson Wheat, who said, "Trust the science is shorthand for provisionally accept the consensus of experts. You're not doing experiments because you're just a hack on Twitter." And he was saying this in response to the Twitter user Wall Street Silver. So I responded to Jackson Wheat by saying, translation, just believe whatever the majority opinion of the scientific and academic community is because you're too stupid to do your own research or think for yourself. Now, the reason why I can say that this is what he really means with confidence is because popular legacy media outlets like the New York Times have actually put out articles in the past few years saying exactly that. I think Forbes was the other one as well, and I've made videos about it in the past, and I'll find those videos and put links to them in the description box below. But basically, the idea here is that if you just believe what you're told, whether it's by the scientific and academic community or whatever Wikipedia says, if you just believe what you're told, then you're a super genius and you're just so intelligent. But if you think for yourself and you dissent from what you're being told and you have evidence that what you're being told is false, that's pretty airtight, and you have evidence that proves that your alternative beliefs that you have are actually real, well then you're just the biggest, most colossal moron on the planet Earth, and you don't trust the science. That's basically how it works with these kind of leftist atheists. And that's something too you'll notice when you look on the internet with atheists, is that a lot of times atheists are also woke lefties. Especially some of the people like Vice Rhino that I've had back and forths with in the past, that people like him have totally just dived headfirst right into the woke agendas. So they got the trans flags in their usernames, and you got all of the LGBTQ stuff going on. So yeah, basically leftists, the woke ones, and atheists, there's a lot of overlap between the two. But anyway, that's all I have for this video. I've responded to a series of different atheist tweets, as you can see. And I think before we get out of here, there are two things that I like to bring to your attention. The first one is, of course, dealing with the issue of YouTube censorship. YouTube censorship has been a thing for at least the last 9 years, possibly longer. And so the best thing about the last 7 years is that a lot of alternatives to YouTube have sprang up. But for today's purposes, there are two YouTube alternatives in particular that you should definitely follow me on if you're a fan of my work, a fan of my content, but you don't like YouTube censorship. The first one, which you can see right here on the screen, is none other than Rumble. Rumble is owned by Donald Trump's media company, so in a sense, Rumble is Donald Trump's YouTube alternative because he owns the company that owns Rumble. Now, Rumble has millions upon millions of people using it. At this point, it's really the only alt text site that's growing at all. And this is a great site for getting views if you're a content creator like myself who covers religion and Christian apologetics, current events, tech censorship, alt tech news, stuff like that. Rumble is great for getting views on content like that. And I've been slowly building up a following here over time, up to 120 subs at the time of this recording. But most importantly about Rumble, aside from the fact that they don't censor the same things that YouTube does, so talking about the topics on Rumble that would get you insta-banned from YouTube doesn't do a thing to you on Rumble. You can talk about those things freely. But the most important thing about Rumble, aside from that, is that I do my live shows here on Rumble. So when you see the TTOR show, or you see me hosting a God TV radio podcast, I do that on Rumble. So if you're a fan of my work and you want to go to a YouTube alternative where I get a lot of views on my videos and I'm able to do live shows without any worry about censorship, well then Rumble is the place you should follow me on. Just be sure to subscribe to the channel, check out all those videos down there and on the back pages, and be sure to tune in for the live shows and share them all around. Now, there's another YouTube alternative that you definitely should follow me on if you're a fan of my content, and that is Quarter. Quarter is an open source alt tech alternative to YouTube that I myself started, founded, and currently run back in 2022. Over 2 years, actually, now. So you got freedom of speech down pat on Quarter because I'm a freedom of speech advocate, and I don't believe in censoring anything that's legally protected by the First Amendment of the United States of America, so Quarter runs by those same rules, essentially. But Quarter also is a very feature-rich YouTube alternative if you're looking for a video sharing site that has the kind of features you'd expect from a site like YouTube. So you got 4K video upload capacity, for example. You have live streaming, you have free restreaming, you have public playlists, and then you have features that you don't get on YouTube. Like, for example, you can upload audio files instead of video files. You can upload pictures instead of videos. So basically, you could upload all your memes to your Quarter channel if you want. You can also write articles on Quarter, basically blog posts. It's like a more robust version of the YouTube community posts on channel pages, except for you can put in HTML code and other types of code, and you can embed not just videos from Quarter into your articles. You can embed videos from virtually any website on the internet that it has HTML code behind it. And then, of course, you have things like video chat rooms, which you can create on Quarter. You can just do video calls with your friends, your family, your coworkers, etc. But you also can live stream to your channel from these rooms. And when you get views on your videos, you get Quarter Bucks, which is an insight point system, an insight currency that you get from getting views on your videos. And when you get enough Quarter Bucks, you can promote your channel or your individual videos on the front page of the site. So obviously there's a lot of good reasons to use Quarter at this point in time, and that is definitely a place you should subscribe to me on and watch my videos on if you're a fan of my content. Plus, if you're a content creator watching this, Quarter needs you, so be sure to create a Quarter channel and promote Quarter today. And with that, I bid you guys adieu and farewell, and I will see you in the next video. Ta-ta for now.